Madam Clerk, you want to do the roll?
Supervisor Bredefield.
Here.
Supervisor Chavez.
Here.
Supervisor Magsic.
Here.
Supervisor Pacheco.
Here.
Chairman Mendez.
I'm here.
All present. Thank you.
Okay, good morning and welcome to the Tuesday, January 6th, 2026 meeting of the Fresno County Board of Supervisors. We will begin today's meeting with the invocation and flag salute. The invocation will be led by District 2 and follow the invocation. Please remain standing for the flag salute.
Yes, the invocation will be offered by Pastor D.J. Kreiner from St. Rest Baptist Church. Pastor Kreiner is not only a good friend of mine, but also the senior pastor of the St. Rest Baptist Church in Fresno and an adjunct professor at Fresno Pacific University. Pastor Kreiner is a trusted faith and community leader with a heart devoted to God and to people. Welcome, Pastor Kreiner.
Thank you to our county supervisors, to our chair, to our vice chair, my friend, one of my closest brothers, Supervisor Bredefield, to the leader of our area where my church sits, Supervisor Pacheco, to my friend Supervisor Chavez, and to all illustrious board supervisors of this great county called Fresno, let us pray. Eternal and most righteous God, we come to you thanking you, for you are the source of our wisdom, the giver of our life. And God, we pause this moment to acknowledge that there is no authority that is greater than you, and that leadership is not simply a position, but a responsibility that is entrusted for the good of the people that you call us to serve. So, Father, we thank you for this board, for the weight that they carry and the decisions that they must make on a regular basis, and the unseen pressures that they have to deal with behind closed doors. Grant them, Father, today, with the wisdom that is clear, the courage that is steady, and a discernment that reaches beyond policy into people's lives. Let every decision and every discussion that is made today shape not merely what is permissible, but what is just. Not only what is efficient, but what is equitable. Not only what benefits a few, but what lifts the entire county. We pray for the ears that listen, especially for the voices that are often unheard, for hearts that remain compassionate even when decisions are difficult. So, Father, it is my prayer that you give them the integrity that cannot be swayed by convenience, by pressure, or by fear. And may this board that we call our supervisors govern with humility. Let them lead with accountability and serve with the understanding that there are people that trust every decision that they make. Bless this Fresno County. Bless its families, its workers, its elders, and the children that we are raising to one day take our place. And let today's work draw us more closer to the fact that we are one body with the same blood that runs in between our skins. And let when this meeting ends, let every decision that is made echo beyond the halls of this sacred chamber. And let it reach the ears of every member or part of our county. And let us all be able one day to stand up today and be able to state exactly what our forefathers originally wanted, that we are united as these states. It's in the sweet, matchless name of Jesus Christ that I pray this prayer. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agendas are located on the back table for anyone wanting to follow along.
Item number 1, designation of officers and remarks by board members.
Okay. The designation of officers is a rotation governed by Fresno County Charter. It is with great pleasure that I designate Supervisor Bredefield as the chairman for the 2026 Board of Supervisors. And since Brian Pacheco has declined the vice chair, we're appointing Luis Chavez as vice chair for the Fresno County Board of Supervisors. No motion is required at this time. Everyone move to the right places on the dais. and the clerk will remove the nameplates.
Here we go. I too want to welcome everybody to the Board of Supervisors. And Chairman Mendez, you are, Supervisor Mendez, you are a tough act to follow. Tremendous things have been accomplished this year under your leadership. And I, for one, am very grateful. I consider you a mentor. We've had some great things that you and I have been working on. And I've learned a lot. And I will continue to learn a lot in the last year that you're here. Wanted to give you something, a reflection of this board's respect for you. This gavel, which is a beautiful gavel, and it reflects that you've been chairman 2016, 2020, and 2025. Means you've been here a while. But you've also done a phenomenal job, so I'd like to give this to you. I'd also, there's Vicky. Vicky, I'd like you to come to the podium. I think you have some words. Vicky is the Chief of Staff for Supervisor Mendez, and she has some words that she'd like to share with everyone.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Chairman Bredefeld.
Is that
Congratulations.
on or close enough? Let's see.
Oh, I need to get closer.
There
I
you go.
guess. Several times over the last couple of months, I've met with Bredefeld's staff, and in doing so, I was inspired to write a poem to honor Supervisor Mendez, and I'd like to read that poem today. So bear with me. This is my ode to Chairman Buddy Mendez. Just a farmer from Riverdale is what he'd proclaim, proudly honoring the Mendez name. Days were spent driving the fields, talking almonds and cotton, counting the yields. Then he thought to himself, I should do more, maybe a run for District 4. So run he did, and glory be, he won that election, now don't you see? From boots to suits, his life would change. The Hall of Records became his range. He's weathered some storms and battled his foes, even challenged the clowns from the city, you know. As chairman, his style was very unique. Heaven help the person who wanted to speak. One at a time, please get in line. Keep it short and sweet, and you will be fine. You pounded that gavel and would often exclaim, keeping the order, that was your game. No F-bombs were dropped from the dais, it's true. We sighed with relief, so proud of you. 3 terms in office, that's quite a feat. He served us well and would not be beat. Now he claims he would like to retire. Farm and family is his desire. He made the announcement this term his last. Work done for the district would become his past. You brought some humor to this political game. The county of Fresno will not be the same. A farmer, a supervisor, you wear those hats well. But there's a secret I'm dying to tell. He is known as the Godfather, and we do believe that is a legacy he is destined to leave. To the Godfather, as chairman, we must say adieu, but look forward to serving one more year with you.
Vicky. That was beautiful. And Vicky shared that with me when she wrote it, and she wanted me to read it. I read it, and she said, I want you to read it. I said, no, I think you need to read it. It's yours. And you did a beautiful job. And I think said it all. Said it all.
Well, 11 years, it's been interesting.
Well, within that context, I'd like to present this framed to the Godfather. And we have two supervisor signatures. The rest will come on. We'll get them on there. But this is for you, buddy. You got it. With that, I will open it up for supervisors for comments. Go ahead, Nathan.
I think pretty much all that needed to be said has been said, but a few brief comments. Buddy's heart is as big as this room. That's something I've appreciated about Buddy, and really have appreciated his mentorship as well. And I think about the county being founded in 1856, and I stare upon the wall in the hallway with all the leaders who have come before us, and I think about our time here, which sometimes seems long, but in reality it's short. But regardless of length of time, each and every one of us have had an opportunity to leave fingerprints on Fresno County. But I will say that Buddy is different from all the other leaders because his heart is so big. I think he's leaving his heart with us. So even though he will be leaving at the end of this year, his love, his passion, his impact will remain. So that's something I appreciate about you, Buddy. So thank you for your service.
Supervisor Chavez.
Thank you, Chair. I'm not going to make us call you Your Highness, right? Okay.
No, not yet.
All right. Supervisor Mendez, thank you for your leadership as the one of two new people that came on board. It's a little bit of a learning curve when you come to the county because, we're used to city, but your leadership and a lot of people I know see the brass and the blunt supervisor, but in the back you're the wise you're the wise grandpa. And we really appreciated that from you. Myself, Chairman Bredefeld, my colleagues, how in the world you got city slickers from the urban counties to make you their chair, I really want to know, and one day I'll find out. But a lot of people don't know that you were actually the chair of the urban counties across the state of California. But I think it's because of your leadership, and there are people that lead with words, you lead with actions. And I noticed that this year, and I just want to publicly thank you for that. Your words of wisdom, you don't just know ag and water, you know a lot of other issues that people don't know about. But the two things that I will never forget were, because I had to look it up, was the word bloviator that was used to welcome one of our colleagues when we got here. And the other one was rectal cranium inversion, and I think I'll always remember those buddyisms. But all that to say, you made a great year, ran a great meeting, no pressure, Chairman Bredefeld, and thank you for your leadership, Supervisor Mendez. Thank you.
Brian.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Buddy, I would just add, we came in together. A lot has happened in the last 35, 40 days. and as fate will have it, we're going to leave together. And it'll be a big change for us. You know, I contemplated what it would be like to just be here on my own. And opportunities happen. And I was always told when opportunity knocks, you should open the door. And that's what I've done. Because of that, I felt it'd be appropriate, since I will not be here next year with you, that I would forego the vice chair and give it to my colleague, Supervisor Chavez. I think it'd be good for a transition. And you and I, it's never been about you and I. It's always been about the board. And so I think that's in the best interest of the board, and I'm willing to do that for a smooth transition. I think it will be historic in that there's the potential that 2 of us are leaving for sure, and potentially 3, and that's a lot of institutional knowledge. And if you just look back a year ago, who would have ever thought the 2 city guys are going to be the senior members of the board in 2 years?
True.
Yeah. Heaven help us all in the county, but hopefully those of us in rural America, we're going to have good people replace us. And with their leadership and experience now, the county will be just fine. But again, I appreciate all that you've done. Supervisor Bretterfield, it was good getting to know you the past year. As chair, you always have an agenda of things you want to do. Well, I can tell you, you've done more in a year without the gavel, so I can't wait to see what this year has in store when you have the gavel in your hands. So again, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with you even more. It was great getting to know you and partnering with you on a lot of issues, and look forward to a good final year. Because for Buddy and I, it's good when you go out on your own terms. I feel good about it. And I told him this morning, it's our last first day of the year as a member of the County Board of Supervisors. And I think we'll have a great appreciation for every meeting this year, because it's the last one that we're ever going to do together.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And I just want to add, you know, I think when I came here, Supervisor Chavez came here, maybe perhaps a little more with me, there was a lot of apprehension. I had apprehension, and I have come to do nothing but respect every one of these folks up here. Buddy and Brian, your directness, I love. It's a breath of fresh air for me to have people who are just straight, say it like it is, and you guys do, and your heart's always in the right place, working for your constituents. And I'm sad that you're both leaving, but I know you're going on to good things. It's the same thing with my colleague, Supervisor Magzik. I know where you're going as well, and you're going to, both you and Supervisor Pacheco are going to represent this area very well at the state, and we need that representation. So there's a sadness for me as this year will come to a close and you guys won't be here. I wish you were. But anyway, I wish you the very best, buddy. We got another year of work. There's a lot more to do, and we will do it. So with that, let's proceed.
Okay.
Buddy, were you
I just want to thank everybody.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure every time, and this last time I was chair was very pleasurable. And I just want to thank everybody for their help. I want to thank Vicki for coming today and saying what she said. She actually said something to me one time. She goes, "If I let a couple of men in your room, in your office, and they kiss your hand, I'm quitting." So we've had it's a great, a deal. I just want to tell everybody Vicki has been here the longest of all the staff, and when I was running, I asked her, I said, "Hey, if I win, will you stay?" Yeah, because I knew Vicki, she's from Crothers. I worked with Judy Case quite a bit. And, she was all happy. And said, well, I might stay a couple years, but that was, that's 12 years, hopefully, that she'll be able to complete, and very happy about that. And just one other thing, I just want to say, I'm actually had a good feeling. I think it was yesterday, I was talking to Chairman Bredefeld, and I realized he's made the complete conversion to be a county person, which I was very happy.
Yes, I represent the county, but I never forget, I also represent the city. And sometimes people forget that. I don't.
But it's been a pleasure working with Brian. I mean, our families have worked together on various boards, on Danish Creamery Board, CDI Board, and this is the first time he got to actually work with me, because he either worked with my brother or my cousin. So it's a pleasure, and thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, let's put the tissues away and let's start. Number 2, I'm just going to say approve the agenda. Any comments from the board on the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Clerk?
Item number 3, approve consent agenda, item numbers 15 through 49.
Okay, these matters are routine in nature and usually are approved by a single vote. Are there any board members who would like an item removed from consent for discussion? Number 4?
I need item 30 removed from consent. I have to abstain because of the Levine Act, or recuse, I should say.
Recuse. Okay, so that'll be item number 30.
And if there's no more items from the board to pull, I do have a correction from staff.
Okay, any other items? No. Okay, go ahead.
So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, staff has a correction to item 26 under the administrative office. In the agenda item, the fiscal impact section has been revised to indicate a budget resolution will be brought to your board at a later date to establish the necessary appropriations and estimated revenues in ORG 0128 Collaborative Applicant HUD. Copies of the correction is being distributed to your board now, and copies are available on the back table for the public.
Okay. Are there no other items? Okay. As for the public, are there any members of the public who would like an item removed from consent for discussion? Please go. Please come up.
Just like to remove item 10.80. Is that how you reference it?
That would be item
Request the-
17 from the consent agenda.
Yeah, please.
That's the second hearing on the ordinance for 10.80.
Correct.
Item 17 will be removed
Okay.
for discussion. Anyone else from the public wishing to remove an item for discussion? Okay. Is there a motion and a second to approve the rest of the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay. Item 4. This would be,
Sorry.
no, item 4, Supervisor Mendez.
Okay, this is a resolution for National Mentoring Month, and I'm going to invite Diane, and I think Nick's here. You got anybody else, Diane? Okay, Monica, go ahead and come up to the podium. And this is a truly, that's what they do. It's all about mentoring.
You have the floor.
Oh, okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Congratulations on your retirement, buddy. And then Brian, buddy, thank you. He's an honorary board member for those that are not aware. He was a board member with Big Brothers Big Sister, and I had the honor of working with you. And so grateful that you brought Riverdale High School Bigs program to our program. And on behalf of the board members, the bigs, the little, our staff and I, and everybody in here, thank you so much for believing in Big Brothers Big Sister and seeing the importance of mentoring and investing in our future leaders. So I really appreciate us, being acknowledged today on the importance of National Mentoring Month. So excited for that. And we have a flight to catch in a few hours, so, just saying. After that, we're going to head out.
I just want to say Diane is a tireless worker.
Thank you.
She is the face of Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah.
So,
Just a couple.
ask for public comment or?
Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll bring it back. Would you like to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, it's approved. No opposition. Please come on up.
Hey, come on up.
Oh,
Oh, how are we going to do this? Do you put, let me photograph. Do I put this?
We now move to item 4.1. Under Supervisor Mendez, adopt resolution recognizing Pleasant Mattress Incorporated for its invaluable contribution to the NEO program and its ongoing partnership, leadership, and dedication to supporting workforce development in the county of Fresno.
And I will turn this over to Supervisor Mendez.
Okay, I'm going to ask Will Oliver, and do you have anybody else with you, Will?
Yeah, I have Kathy McIntyre with Pleasant Mattress and Sonia Bugay to join us as well.
Okay.
Good morning, Chairman Bredefeld. First, I just want to say thank you and congratulations to Supervisor Mendez, Supervisor Pacheco, for your support, dedication over all these years. We've found you to be true partners in our collective efforts and have really, really benefited from your leadership. Supervisor Mendez also serves on the EDC Board of Directors and has played a really key role in our Center Point District, or Five Cities JPA, putting the thumb on the scale for our small cities. We appreciate being able to recognize the NEO program this morning and one of our fantastic businesses that make this program successful. First, I want to acknowledge how unique this partnership is between an economic development organization and our Department of Social Services. Probably one of the few partnerships that exist throughout the state of California. And it makes sense. It works based on the simplicity. DSS has line of sight into residents that are receiving services that are ready for sustained employment. And the EDC works with countless businesses throughout the county who have hiring needs. Just for some background, since we launched this program nearly 10 years ago, we've placed 2,500 people into employment with 450 businesses partner with that and have reimbursed $23.5 million in wages, which serve as not just an incentive, but also working capital to our local businesses. And we've gone beyond that, working with partners like the late John Lawson to support training programs in truck driving and construction trades, among others, so that folks have the skills to succeed. But this cannot be possible without the support of our local businesses that participate in these programs, that believe in these programs, helping advantage individuals on CalWorks or on cash aid to be able to access sustained employment. And so what we wanted to do was start to recognize those companies that go above and beyond in supporting this program. So today we are pleased to recognize Pleasant Mattress, who has been one of those amazing employers here in Fresno County. Pleasant Mattress is a longstanding manufacturer of high-quality products in Fresno for decades, and both playing a critical role in our manufacturing sector, showing that sector can thrive, and and they're just an amazing partner that we have in the NEO program. They've hired over 32 people in the New Employment Opportunities Program, and that provide not just a job, but stability, mentorship, and opportunity. So we'd like to join Sonia and her team and the team at DSS and Supervisor Mendez in recognizing Pleasant Mattress for all that you do for our community and our economy, and like to recognize Kathy McIntyre if there's anything you'd like to add.
I just want to say thank you. It's an honor to be honored.
I think that's all we have, Mr. Supervisor.
Any comments from the board? Seeing none. Any comments from the public? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. We want to come on up?
Yeah.
Picture.
And that's probably the best name for a mattress company, right?
For that, it's over. We now move to item number 5, under the Board of Supervisors, approve the chairman's 2026 appointments of board members to various boards, commissions, and committees as presented in Exhibit A in your packet, and adopt California Form 806 as presented in Exhibit B in your packet, and direct the clerk of the board to post to the county's website. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for your consideration, there is one request from Supervisor Pacheco. He wishes to become the alternate member of the San Joaquin Valley Insurance Authority rather than the primary member. Currently, it reflects that Chavez is the alternate member, but Supervisor Pacheco is requesting that he be the alternate.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Good, Brian.
Mr. Chairman, I think, again, in light of what we discussed earlier, Supervisor Mendez and I know that we will not be here next year. I think it would be appropriate for Supervisor Chavez to start participating more instead of just being the alternate as he's done this past year. I would be willing to serve as the alternate, but I think in the best interest, again, of the county, it would be a benefit if Supervisor Chavez would have this year to gain full knowledge of what we do on the SJVIA board. So I asked the clerk to make a note to bring that up today, and if it's the will of the board, I would be willing again to do that if Supervisor Chavez would be willing to do that.
Okay, so you'll do that? Okay. Any comments from the board? Any comments from the public? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Next, Dad.
Okay, we now go to item number 6 under the Administrative Office. Consider and take action on request for determination of public convenience or necessity in regard to application for an alcohol beverage control license type 21 filed by Honjora Incorporated to be used at 25430 West Doris Avenue, Kalinga, California 93210.
And staff will present.
Good morning, Supervisors. Ron Alexander with the Administrative Office. Before your board is an item to consider and make a determination of public convenience or necessity for an ABC application for a Type 21 ABC license. A Type 21 license is the off-sale of beer, wine, and liquor. Management Directive 2400 states that in order to make this determination of public convenience or necessity, that the license would not tend to create a law enforcement problem, that it will provide a needed service to the community, and that it will have a positive impact on the local economy. The applicant has provided a written response addressing these three criteria. The Department of Public Works has been contacted. There are no zoning issues in regards to this area. And the Fresno County Sheriff's Department has been contacted and reviewed the application. The applicant is in Census Tract 79.03. 7 off-sale licenses are allowed within the census tract. There are currently 9 existing off-sale licenses within the census tract. I'd like to note that the applicant currently has a Type 20 license, which is the off-sale of beer and wine. They are now upgrading to a Type 21, which adds liquor. I would also like to note that of those 9 existing licenses, the Chevron station within the area, they have 2 existing licenses. They have a Type 20 license. They upgraded to a Type 21 about a year ago. ABC still has both of those licenses listed within the census tract, even though the Type 20 has been surrendered. So it's still listed because the applicant, or not the applicant, but Chevron Station still owns that Type 20 license. It's still in that area, but it's not in use. Also, I'd like to note that the Rite Aid within this census tract has a Type 21 license, but that facility is closed, so that license is surrendered as well. Given that they still own it, it's still listed within ABC's list of licenses. So effectively, there are 7, but even though there are 9 listed. This is the census tract. The area in tan is the 79.03, and broken out are the locations for both the applicant as well as others within that census tract. This is a listing of all the licenses and their proximity to the applicant. And you'll note that that license type there lists a Type 20 and 21 for the Chevron gas station there. It's in that area. This is an aerial view of the applicant's location circled there in red. We have a view of the applicant's storefront, the north view of the applicant's site, south view, east view, as well as the west view. And again, here are the 3 criteria to make a public convenience or necessity. That concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions.
Okay, I just want to do a clarification on this census tract. Coalinga is in the census tract. It's 12 miles away. And if you looked at the list, most of them are in Coalinga.
Right?
Yeah. Or at least 4 of them are. So, you know, I'm supporting this. This is fine. I just want to see if there's any public comment. And
Let me ask first, any comments from the board at all? Okay, any comments from the public?
I did receive any opposition to this in
Right.
mail or email or anything of that nature.
Okay.
Okay, motion to approve.
Motion to approve, is there a second? Second, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Item 6.1.
We now move to item number 6. Under General Services, adopt and authorize chairman to execute resolution finding declaring the following under Government Code Sections 25365B and 54221F1C for an exchange of real properties. A, the county-owned real property located in the vicinity of 40315 Dunlap Road in Dunlap, California, and which is approximately 0.735 acres of open land is not necessary for use of the county. B, the county property is exempt surplus land under Government Code Section 54221F1C. C, your board intends for the county property to be exchanged as exempt surplus land under Government Code Section 54221F1C of the Surplus Land Act with 0.735 acres of open land also located in the vicinity of 40315 Dunlap Road in Dunlap, California, and owned by the Richard Don Hall and Susan I. Hall Revocable Living Trust of 2011, which is land required for county use. D, the county property and trust property described above and depicted in Exhibits A and B and the resolution respectively are approximately equal value, and the exchange shall be on an as is and where is, and with all false bases, which will involve no exchange of money or other consideration. Approve the form of the real property exchange agreement in the forms of both grant deeds, which are on file with the clerk of the board. Authorize the direct county council or county council's designee to provide a copy of the adopted resolution and the board-approved unexecuted form of the exchange agreement to the California Department of Housing and Community Development and any such other information that county council or county council's designee deems necessary or appropriate in the best interest of the county, or that HCD may request from the county, and authorize the Director of the Department of General Services on behalf of the county to approve and execute the final exchange agreement and the final grant deed conveying the county property to the trust, including any changes to the board-approved form of such documents as the director deems necessary or appropriate in the best interest of the county, all subject to approval as to legal form and county council, and approval as to according form by the auditor, controller, tax collector, and such executions of such documents by the director to be accomplished only after the proposed exchange is approved by HCD. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, your director, Raymond Hunter, is here. If I make a mistake, I'm sure he'll correct me. There is now an errata form for this item because the recommended action needed to include an addition to the recommended action, and that is to direct and authorize the Director of General Services to file with the Department of Public Works and Planning all necessary forms and applications required to address Williamson Act contract numbers 5029 and 6236, assessors parcels numbers 190-480-11 and 190-080-46 prior to execution of recommended action number 4 of your agenda item. I will now hand this out to the board, and copies are on the back for the public.
Staff? Okay, you have the floor.
Good morning, Chairman Bredefeld and members of the board. My name is Raymond Hunter. I'm Director of General Services. Item 6.1 before your board this morning is to exchange of surplus property located in Dunlap, California for use by Department of Public Works and Planning. The property to be exchanged consists of 0.735 acres. The County of Fresno acquired the Public Works Planning Dunlap Road Yard in 1972. The county fenced the property and has constructed a fuel site, office space, and vehicle storage at that location. Public Works and staff recommends exchanging property with the adjacent property owner. Do you have any questions regarding, for both Public Works or myself?
Nathan?
Again, this is the county really has initiated this exchange. I think, if it's not my mistake, there were some improvements that the county did on its property, and it encroached on a neighboring property, and so we're trying to exchange some properties to make everyone whole. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir, yes.
So I just wanted to make it clear for the record that the property owner has worked with the county to get us to where we are today. And so I know there's some findings we have to make, and I've already looked at everything, and I can make those findings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the board? Any comments from the public? Is there a motion to approve?
This is my district, and I appreciate Public Works as well as Doug Sloan's legal department for working quickly on this particular issue, as well as your department, Raymond, so thank you for that. I'll move for the recommended actions, and again, I want to note that there is a 5th recommended action, which the clerk read into the board. And I also, too, this item requires us to make findings. I can make those findings, and I'm happy to read those into the record if necessary. If not, my motion will stand.
Okay, is there a second? Yes. There's a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We're going to go on to item 7, and after item 7, we will do the consent for discussion.
Okay. Item number 7, under Public Works and Planning, discuss and provide direction regarding North Rio Vista Avenue.
Director White, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Board. Steve White, Public Works Director, County of Fresno. Item 7 is a discussion on Rio Vista Road. There are many roads similar to Rio Vista in this county, and the direction we're asking for and seeking from this action is with a recommendation. We're recommending option 1. Rio Vista is about a mile-long road. It has had a problem created when 180 was constructed, and Rio Vista was found by the truckers. Truckers use that as a detour route going to Trimmer Springs that ultimately connects up to Belmont. We have tried diligently, working with the vendors in the area, the trucking firms, and Google Earth to reroute the trucks. Didn't work. So what our recommendation is let us include this area within the truck study. We have an obligation to meet under, I think it's SB or AB 98. Coming forward, we've applied for a grant for that study of $797,000. Don't have a date when we're going to get awarded that grant, but we will need additional funding. We've worked closely with the CO's office, and there's been considerable dialogue with the property owners along and adjacent. The volume of trucks, 30 today, a volume of traffic, 500 cars a day. There's no documented safety issues. There's been 5 accidents since 2017. So it's not a record, a safety issue, but there are concerns from the property owners. And I think they are in here in attendance today if they want to make a presentation. That concludes my presentation.
Supervisor Magid.
This is in my district as well. So just to be clear, there are 3 options that you've presented us, and this board, of course, could go in whatever direction we want. But the Public Works option 1 is what you would recommend to this board. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just a quick.
Yes, Supervisor Chavez.
Thank you, Chair. I'm to an agreement, Supervisor Magzik. I think we need to have a kind of a 30,000 view and analyze routes across the county, and then come up with some mitigating measures. But I did get briefed by our staff just because I think a lot of us have these kind of challenges in our neighborhood. So I'm supportive of option 1 as well.
Okay. Any comments, other comments from the board? Comments from the public? Yeah, please state your name.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Mike Kraus. My property is at 480 North Rio Vista. For more than 5 years, the property owners and the residents of North Rio Vista have endured the shifting foundations of our homes, the cracking of sheetrock, damage to our yards, and near-miss collisions pulling in and out of our driveways, as well as crossing the narrow bridges on Tremor Springs Road, all caused by interaction with heavy trucks. Not to mention many sleepless nights. These trucking operations go on 24/7. Throughout this time, we've communicated our frustrations to the County Public Works Department and Mr. White. And while we appreciate the lowering of the speed limit from 55 to 45 and the posting of the no truck signs on county right-of-way areas, the issue continues, as Mr. White has stated. To us, this is a safety issue. We should not be fearful of backing out of our driveways and coming face to face with a huge truck, either on Rio Vista or on Tremor Springs as we approach the bridge that is really a challenge for 2 cars to pass, much less interacting with the trucks. Also a quality of life issue for us. Our homes should not be continuing to suffer damage due to the vibration of the large trucks, which are oftentimes exceeding the posted speed limit. The main obstacle to a reasonable solution as we see it is the state's unwillingness to allow placement of proper signage on the state's right-of-way at the intersection of State Route 180 and North Rio Vista. This is the location that the majority of the trucks enter into North Rio Vista. According to Mr. Navarro of Caltrans, their unwillingness is due to the non-existence of a county ordinance declaring it a non-truck route. Again, we are appreciative that the county, by placing the existing signage, has, in essence, already acknowledged that North Rio Vista is not designated for heavy truck traffic. However, the issue again continues due to the lack of an ordinance to back it up. While we would obviously like to have that ordinance passed sooner than later, Mr. White advises that the state mandate countywide road evaluation must be completed within the next 2 years. Obviously, we're not happy with having to wait 2 years, but we do understand the unfunded state mandate that has to be met. So as far as the options in front of you this morning, we are not asking for option 2. We don't believe that's in any of the stakeholders' best interest. We are also not In favor of option 3, we don't believe that's cost effective for the county or the taxpayers.
Could you wrap up, please?
Yes, sir, right now. We believe option 1, as Mr. White has stated, is in the best interest of all of us at this point.
Okay.
Back up his recommendation.
Thank
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? If not, I'll bring it back to the board. Is there a motion?
I'll move for option 1.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
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 It's unanimous. We will move on to,
If it's okay with you, Mr. Chairman, can we take item 30 first, since it's a quick?
sure, item 30. Supervisor Maggs needs to recuse himself on this item.
Yes, item 30, approve and authorize chairman to execute a lease agreement with Fig Garden Offices for approximately 38,968 square feet of office space, 5260 North Palm Avenue, Suite 300 and 321, Fresno, California, 93704, to be occupied by the Department of Behavioral Health effective January 15, 2026, which includes a 3-year base term and 2 optional 1-year extensions.
Staff?
Chairman and Supervisors, I'm Susan Holt, your Behavioral Health Director, and with me, of course, is Raymond Hunter, Director of General Services, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the board? Anyone from the public wishing to comment on this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Passes unanimously. Thank you. And we'll,
With Supervisor
Magzig back?
recusing himself.
yes. Oh, and Supervisor Magzig recused himself.
Thank
Yep.
you.
For the
We now
record.
return to item 17, which was pulled by a member of the public. Under Supervisor Bredefield, Supervisor Pacheco, and Sheriff Coroner, Public Administrator, conduct second hearing to add Chapter 10.80, Prevention of Contribution to Over-Concentration of Sex Offenders in Single-Family Dwellings Utilized as Documented Transitional Living Facilities to Title 10 of the Ordinance Code of Fresno County, waive reading of the ordinance in its entirety, and adopt the proposed ordinance.
Okay, that was pulled by a member of the public. Yes, you can come on up and speak. You have the floor. If you would, state your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Dawn Coyle. My address is 335 East Gettysburg, Fresno 93704. Good morning, County Supervisors. I just wanted to, what I'm asking is to merely defer the second part of the ordinance. We definitely agree with the ordinance. We have housed 6 registered offenders in our homes, and we've complied. That is not what we're asking for to defer. It's the second part of the ordinance that we're asking about. It'll give us a time to collaborate with you guys, to have a meeting so we can explain what we do. If you're wanting us to change things, we're all about change. You know, we've adjusted. Back in 2020, we had an issue. We got together with parole and we complied with what they asked us to do. We're not rule breakers. We want to help. We are a nonprofit. We don't receive any contracts for housing anybody, especially our registered offenders. They pay their own way. And what we're asking for is just the deferment on the second part, because what it's doing is we have 12 people that live in a house, and I have 2 house managers. So that's 14 people. When we first started in 2018, we checked into the ordinances, and it was 250 square feet per person. So that's what we've been going off of since 2019, when we bought the homes. We've been compliant for everything that's ever been asked of us. If you tell us that there's a stop sign, we will happily stop. But giving us literally 30 days with an ordinance like this, it's going to buckle us. It'll cost us to displace 30 of our 120 clients because they don't have somewhere else to go. So if the ordinance passes as is, I have 1 registered offender in the house. That means I can only have 6 people in that house, and that's including my 2 house managers. Some of my houses, I have 4 house managers in a house. So there is supervision. I know that the public has said other things, but I promise you, I live on the properties. This is what we do. I believe you have all been given letters. A lot of them have written letters. And I wanted to read a letter, but I pray that you guys have all read the letters. that were passed out to you. We're not about breaking any rules. We're about helping people. That's what we want to do. And there is a population out there that nobody wants to help. We want to help them. And I have never had any of them besides the one that has reoffended. And I stated that last time, the conversation that I had with them. So.
If you would wrap it up.
Yes. So I'm just asking for the deferment. I'm not asking that you vote no. I'm not, if you want to, please. But I'm asking for the deferment. I'm asking that we just push pause so we can meet. I'd love to meet and talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, you please state your name and address.
Good morning, Board. My name is Candy Barron. I live at 2217 West Keats Avenue. I am the Women's House Manager for Centers for Living. So I would like to come to you today as one of the managers that helps these individuals, specifically the women that live in the house that I manage. Centers for Living provides 12 women a safe place. And we haven't had a registered offender in the women's house for almost 4 years. In October, there was a woman who needed our help. She didn't have any family. She didn't have any friends. She was desperate and called us in tears. Centers for Living was able to say yes. Since that day in October, her progress has been exemplary. She's had 0 issues with law enforcement during her stay. And all I am asking is that the board consider the one sentence that states, furthermore, responsible parties shall not allow more than 6 bed or more than 6 unrelated persons to live in a single family dwelling that is occupied by 1 or more offenders. The reason I'm asking for this deferment is so that you can collaborate with Centers for Living, giving all of us the time with your help to find suitable housing for the lady and others like her in our ministry. She doesn't have anywhere to go. She will be in violation if she gets removed. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next. Yeah, name and address, please.
Nicole Berger, 1784 West San Jose Avenue, 93711.
Jennifer Ward, 1722 West San Jose Avenue, 93711.
Thank you.
1770 West San Jose Avenue, 93711. We wanted to bring this one to light as well after seeing the last meeting. We just want this to our neighborhood to be taken into consideration as well alongside the others. Multiple sex offenders living there, one of which is a serial child molester from the 80s, sentenced to 71 years in the Bay Area and has since been released, now living next to me. Peering through my fence line, I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. Can't even get my kids buckled into the car in the driveway or help me set up Christmas decor because they're loitering in the yard, staring us down. I didn't sign up for this. I don't rent, I own.
What I'd like to say is we have, in our neighborhood, we have a lot of seniors that are scared to leave their houses. The first lady that had her house built in that development, she's scared to leave her house. Her son comes every morning and checks on her, comes every night and checks on her. There was one day my husband and I were walking around the corner to pick some fruit from our neighbor on the corner of West and San Jose, and there was this guy sitting on the curb in front of her house for 3 hours. And when I walked by, I said, "Do you live in that house?" He said, "No, I live way over there." Well, he lied because he does live in that house. 2 days later, when we were on our way home from the grocery store, in the truck, he's walking into that house. Hello? Yes, he does live at that house, and he's sitting right in front of her house for 3 hours on a phone, staring straight at her house. Why? Are these people being monitored? I don't think so. Another thing, crime is up in our neighborhood. My neighbor across the street, she's 80 years old, rarely goes out of town. She left out of town to Oregon. 2 days later, they stole her brand new pool sweep out of her swimming pool, and the old one she just replaced it with on the side of her swimming pool. We've even had a sheriff, his window broken on his unmarked car. We've had things stolen. We've never had that happen in our neighborhood until this house came.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Good morning, Chairman Bredefeld and members of the board. My name is Elizabeth Spencer. Myself, my husband Michael, and our 3 sons live in Old Fig Garden, an established single-family residential neighborhood in unincorporated Fresno County. I'm here to speak in support of clear, enforceable standards related to the use of single-family homes, particularly when those homes are being used to house multiple, unrelated, registered sex offenders. In our neighborhood, there are single-family residences that appear to be operating well beyond what is permitted under state law and county zoning. California law already restricts unrelated registered sex offenders from living together in a single-family dwelling, and residential facilities with more than 6 residents are not treated as single-family uses. Yet, without a clear local enforcement mechanism, these protections are difficult to apply in practice. This is not about banning anyone from housing or singling out individuals. It is about land use compliance, public accountability, and ensuring that residential neighborhoods are not quietly converted into unlicensed, high occupancy facilities without oversight, permits, or enforcement. When a single-family home functions as a de facto institution, it affects the surrounding neighborhood through increased traffic, parking congestion, resident turnover, and loss of the residential character that zoning is meant to protect. It also places an unfair burden on neighbors when enforcement is unclear or inconsistent. I respectfully urge the board to support policies that reinforce existing state law, establish clear occupancy limits in single-family zones, provide county code enforcement with the authority and direction needed to act when violations occur. Clear rules and consistent enforcement protect neighborhoods, property owners, and residents alike. Thank you for your time and for your attention to this issue.
Thank you. Yeah, please come up.
Hi, my name is Amy Trimmer. I wrote you all a letter. I hope you received it. I'm going to read it for you in case you didn't get it. So I am the outreach coordinator for Centers for Living, and I'm here today with a deep sense of conviction. After praying for a greater purpose in my life, I was given the opportunity to work for CFL, where I now see firsthand the incredible transformation taking place in the lives of people striving to better themselves through sober living and accountability. We are all aware of the broken system that too often fails our most vulnerable residents, inadvertently creating a cycle of homelessness and addiction. At Centers for Living, we provide a solution that the system lacks. We don't just provide a bed, we set up our clients for long-term success. Unlike programs that offer no direction or follow-through, CFL is the best place for someone who is serious about becoming a productive member of society. Our model is built on high standards. Our clients are regularly held accountable for their actions and participate in enriching activities designed to help them become better, more contributing members of our Fresno community. Many of these individuals have served their time and have a genuine heart for change. They want to work, they want to give back, and they want to be better. Our guiding principle is to love all, serve all. We recognize that every person has made mistakes, but as Jesus said in John 8:7, let the person who has not sinned cast the first stone. Instead of casting stones or judgment, we offer a structured path towards redemption. When we invest in these second chances, we aren't just helping an individual, we're helping strengthen the fabric of Fresno County. We are reducing recidivism, cleaning up our streets, and restoring lives. I ask that the board recognize the true purpose of Centers for Living and the vital mission we serve. We are dedicated to turning lives around, ensuring that every person who enters our program has the opportunity to be a success story for our county. Thank you for your time and your leadership and your commitment for a better Fresno. And I was just going to add, like what Don was saying, if we can have you come and do a tour of our facility and maybe we can meet and let you know what we really do. We are coming with a genuine sense of helping these people in our community and that we're just trying to do what we can. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, council members. My name is Matthew Lawson. I reside at 7853 East Kings Canyon Road.
Fresno, California, 93737. I stand before you today not only as a resident of Sinners for Living, but as someone whose life has been radically transformed. This ordinance would displace people based solely on their past, people who are working hard to rebuild their lives. Scripture warns us that Satan is the father of lies. His strategy is to distract, distort, and divide. In Jesus' day, people called him a winebibber and mocked him for eating with tax collectors and prostitutes. They tried to paint him as untrustworthy, to distract people from the truth that he was there to save them. That same tactic is at work today. Instead of seeing healing, the enemy wants us to see labels. Instead of seeing restoration, he wants us to see records. But God's word says, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. When I arrived at Sinners for Living after serving my time, I was battling a mountain of issues, including paranoid schizophrenia. Couldn't ride a bus or walk into a grocery store. I was broken and barely surviving. But God met me there, and through the structure and support of Sinners for Living, my life began to change. Since then, I've helped lead 106 people to Christ, fed 183,000 individuals, contributed over 6,500 hours of community service over the past 3 years, became a deacon and a minister in training, enrolled in Bible college, completed probation early without a single violation, had all my charges expunged, paid child support consistently, overcame mental illness, and have been off my medication for over 2 years, and have been clean for 4 years after 36 years of addiction. This is what restoration at Sinners for Living looks like, and I'm just one example of many, I promise you. If this ordinance passes, I could lose my housing. So could many others who are finally finding stability. Displacing people in recovery doesn't make the community safer. It destabilizes those who are trying to rebuild their lives and leads to relapse. So I ask you, what would Jesus say? Put them back in prison? I can't help them. I only died for certain sins and certain people? Absolutely not. Jesus would go into their home, meet them where they are, accept them, hold them accountable, and begin to teach and show them the way, the truth, and the life, much like Sinners for Living does on a daily basis. Please do not pass this ordinance that punishes people for who they used to be instead of who they are becoming. Talk to the men and women in this program, and you will witness redemption in real times, and I promise you your worries will be put to rest. Any policy that limits or overlooks the restoration happening at Center for Living aligns with the enemy's lies, not with God's heart. His arm is never too short to save. I'd like to end with Psalms 138. For great is the glory of the Lord, though the Lord is on high, yet he regards the lowly, but the proud he knows from afar off. Don't be too prideful to reconsider this. Thank you.
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Ed Williams Ruffin. I live at 448 West Fortikian Avenue. I actually live in District 2. I actually supported our previous supervisor, and I supported you also, Dr. Gary Bradfield. Again, I'm writing I wrote you guys a letter. I hope you received it, but I'm going to go ahead and read this letter. Because I wrote it in support of Sinners for Living and their current housing arrangements. See, I've lived in Fresno for 35 years and have long supported the work of county leadership, including, like I said, my former supervisor and now my current supervisor or chairman, Gary Bredefeld. I'd also like to add that for the District 2 community to understand that Steve Brandow, who was once a supervisor, is now a supporter, actually working with Sinners for Living right now. And he is a huge supporter of ours. But I have to respectfully oppose the recent rhetoric directed towards CFL and its housing program for registered sex offenders. See, I have personally known John and Don Coyle, the leaders of CFL, since the home that is the primary focus of disorderness opened approximately 7 years ago at Gettysburg and Palm. See, CFL is a faith-based organization, and both its staff and residents consistently demonstrate the values that they profess. See, nationally, the same recidivism rate is 5% for sex offenders, okay? It's 0.38 with Sinners for Living. They've had one out of approximately well over 220 of the sex offenders that have been through there. Again, these extraordinarily low numbers reflect the strength of CFL's leadership, structure, accountability, and focus of true rehabilitation. See, I can personally say that I've witnessed lives being transformed. You just heard Matthew there. As an associate minister at one of the churches that many of these people attend, I've seen many baptized with ankle monitors on, by the way, and faithfully worship every Sunday. I've watched them volunteer at church functions and serve as vital parts of our weekly outreach and food ministry. Their participation is consistent, meaningful, and rooted in genuine change. See, I fully understand Chairman Bredefield's concern on behalf of the district because I live here as well. But I ask the board to consider this. For more than 7 years, the Gettysburg location existed quietly without complaint. Okay, only after tragic incident caused by a CFL resident, not by a CFL resident, but by a mentally challenged young woman who made a terrible decision involving a fire weapon, did complaints such as catcalling and disturbances suddenly arise. This shift does not reflect the longstanding reality of the home or the men who reside there.
Yeah, please finish. Okay.
And I'll finish with this. Just contempt before investigation. I would invite you to come out. You know, come out to my church, see these guys in the community. Come out and visit and see the change that is happening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Frances Morrison. I'm an elected commissioner for the Fig Garden Police Protection District. I've been a resident of Fig Garden for over 31 years. Boy, I've heard a lot of facts that there's no evidence on this morning. And I'm very grateful, Chairman Bredefeld, that you have a PhD in clinical psychology and you darn well know what the recidivism rate is for sex offenders. I would urge you not to take what anybody is making financially as the fact. We live in this neighborhood. The night before the last compliance check, there were 32 of these men living in 2 houses. There was a compliance check, and as you know, every time law enforcement's called, and what this gentleman said prior to me is not true. It's not about the shooting. This has been going on and bothering all the residents who live in Fig Garden since they moved in. About 7 or 8 years ago. There's quite a few residents here that are probably not going to speak, but if I may ask that they raise their hands in support of having this shut down. It has been an absolute nuisance. It's draining law enforcement. If you have 32 males with criminal history living within 2 homes next door to each other, and we have 8 or 9 deputies in Metropolitan County, how many deputies are you going to send to a house where you have a minimum of 12 residents? I don't even know why this is an agenda item. All you're doing is asking them to adhere to the very liberal California law that allows sex offenders to live amongst us, next to our children, next to our grandchildren, and it has been nothing. The houses have been eyesores. They have a thrift store. They have trash piled up. It has been an eyesore, and people have moved. We're worried about our property values, especially when you're in close proximity. I don't know anybody that wants to live next door to these houses. The shooter at the last event went into the wrong house and shot the wrong guy. What's to keep them from going into the other house next door? That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, my name is Beverly Rain. I live at 4220 North Wilson Avenue, and I've lived there for 18 years, where I raised my 2 children. No one is disputing that sober living and transitional housing are important in this community. Absolutely, 100%. And there are many organizations, including the Mission, that do a fantastic job of adhering to the policies and procedures and general wellness programs, such as including RAP in their programs and holding people accountable. But I will tell you, from my own observation and my own experience, this is not a well-run facility at all. My son was assaulted there 4 years ago. He was pushed in the street by one of the residents in front of Mr. Coyle, and Mrs. Coyle had to call the sheriffs to have my son and my husband removed. They were on a walk. It is, in the back, there are some trailers, there have been trailers there before, that house young children, a little girl. And there was a registered sex offender living in the garage at the time. The Coyles know what's going on. I don't doubt that many of the residents are doing well, are sober, have found the Lord, have improved their lives, but a lot of them haven't, and they walk by our homes every day. There's trash, drug deals, I see them going on all the time. My children, when they were younger, I forbade them for even going by the houses, and then it was a complaint against me because I drove my car by their house. It's on my way to work. So thank you so much for bringing this forward. Thank you for your support of it. Gary, tremendous job. Brian, you as well. And I really hope you support it. It's for the betterment of the children across from a church, across from a school. Please pass this ordinance. There are people who do this work well, and these people can be rehoused in some of those programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Peter Capitan. I spoke last time. I live in Fig Garden. I'm not going to reiterate what I said last time. I think some of these women here have told you in much more articulate terms what we see every day at these houses. But what I would like to reiterate is that if the Centers for Living is abiding by the law, then this shouldn't be an issue. All you're doing is putting in place effective measures to make sure the laws abide by. But I think the fight that you've seen here today and all the representatives that they've had come shows you exactly what's going on. This is not a ministry, okay? This is money, and everybody knows it. They tell you there were 6 people living in the house last time. I just did a quick search on Megan's Law's website the last time we were here at the meeting about a month ago. There were 9 sex offenders in the 2 houses, okay? That's too many sex offenders to have in one location for the county and the sheriff to properly monitor. This ordinance is common sense, as they said, the previous person, that you're just going to put some teeth into a very already liberal law. I mean, I'd like you to go further, but I know you can't, and I appreciate what you're going to do. But I really would like to, I'm sad the pastor's gone, because I've seen a lot of preachers and pastors of all faiths give invocations. His was excellent. It was very inspiring and very instructive. And one of the things I took away from that is you all are in a privileged position. Well, with a privilege comes responsibility, and the responsibility you have is to protect the public. And the way you can protect the public best is by passing this ordinance. It gives common sense restrictions on these places, and if they're abiding by it, there should be no problem. But I think, as I said before, you see what's really going on here, and I appreciate everything you all have done for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Matt Rivera. I live at 317 North Glen, Fresno 93701. I work for several nonprofits in Fresno County, and I've seen all the TV spots of this issue that have come from this room. Read the reports. I have a good understanding of not only this particular population that you're talking about, but the lesser than. I personally have been homeless before, and this is why I am here today. So I was born and raised in the Fig Garden area. For the first 21 years of my life, I graduated from Bullard High School. I graduated from Fresno State. I also managed the Citibank in Fig Garden. So I know the prestige. And there is no illusion for me or for anyone up there, the illusion of the prestige of the neighborhood or the privilege of the neighborhood. And again, that's someone that was born and raised in the neighborhood, know all about the neighborhood. So I ask you not only to look to the protection of the neighborhood, but the protection of the entire county. And what I see this particular ordinance doing in this particular case is it will cause more homelessness of the exact population that you're so concerned about. And my request is that you just put it off for 30 days, think of a solution that doesn't create more homelessness of the exact population that you're speaking of, because that's exactly at face value what this ordinance would do countywide, not just in the Fig Garden district, but the entire county. So I would ask you to consider that for the entire county, not just one particular area. And regardless of what you consider for the entire county, please consider the scourge of homelessness that is Fresno County and the nation. It's the scourge of the nation. I know who's on the street. I know who's walking on the street. We don't want anybody walking on the street, especially unsupervised, especially those that have criminal pasts. I would agree with that. But consider what you're doing. It sounds as though, from a public bystander, that we just don't want sex offenders in the neighborhood, and so we're going to distribute them into other neighborhoods and unsupervised and most likely unhoused, because you all know, as I do, as someone that works with several nonprofits, there aren't places that accept these particular individuals. And there's reasons for that. There's laws, but there are also laws that protect them. So I just ask you to take the 30 days and consider a solution to homelessness in this issue versus creating more of the problem.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, this is, I think, the second hearing for this, but I just had to, is this like a facility, right? I don't know, because it's like the second time I heard about a little girl, so it's like a family home or facility slash
Just offers your comments.
up there, like if there's no child that lives on the property.
Okay. All right. Were you going to speak, sir? Yes, sir. Okay.
My name is Terry Burke. I live at 1422 North Fruit Avenue in Fresno. I am one of these dreaded sex offenders. I got out of prison 2.5 years ago. Centers for Living took me in. I was able to overcome a lot of the post-traumatic stress that I suffered while in prison. I was found suitable for parole by the parole board because I had completed rehabilitation programs that proved that I was a low risk of reoffending. Without Centers for Living, I could not have progressed as quickly as I did through my recovery. I continue with programs. I'm currently on parole. I attend parole programs that are required, but I attend other programs and participate in other programs that continue to work on my rehabilitation. I have progressed so far that financially I'm quite stable. I have purchased a house within the past 6 months within Fresno, but I remain a manager at one of the Centers for Living homes. You commended people for their mentorship. Centers for Living is all about mentorship. I mentor other sex offenders who have gotten out of prison. We work with them to make sure that they do not reoffend. I want to point out that the one person who reoffended at Centers for Living in the past 7 years, it was with pornography, and he was prosecuted, and I believe he's in prison now. If we had known about that, we would have turned him in. For the people who live in our neighborhoods, we try to be good neighbors. If we had known about this person out on the corner sitting there, we would have taken him in and corrected him and even moved him to a different location. If you communicate with the owners of Centers for Living, they will work on these things. The managers will work on these things. We do not want to harm our neighborhoods. Today, you handed out a lot of plaques. In my viewpoint, you should have been handing out one of those plaques to John and Don Coyle. They have done a lot of good in these neighborhoods. They have taken at-risk people, the homeless, the mentally ill, the sex offenders that no one will take, and they have brought them into their programs. And it is a program, and it is a ministry. We're involved a lot in New Beginnings Community Baptist Church. A lot of our people at our house work there for their food program, where we feed homeless people. This takes place every week. As a result, many of these people have got involved in homeless programs in the downtown section here, helping the homeless. We bring food bags to them. We bring clothing to them. We help these people out. I myself am very conservative in my politics. I did vote for Donald Trump, and I probably voted for you as well, Chairman Bredesfeld, because I don't know everybody. I kind of voted a party line on that. But understand that not everything is always exactly as it appears, that there are a lot of things to consider in this ordinance. We would comply with a lot of it, but parts of it are putting very difficult situations onto Centers for Living. And we do ask that you meet with John and Don Coyle to discuss this further. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. And I assume that's it. I'm going to close the public hearing and bring it back to the board. Members, anybody wish to? Supervisor Maggs.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone for making those comments. It helps us to make informed decisions. And to Terry, our last speaker, that was very brave of you, so I appreciate you sharing your heart. I do have some questions for County Council. So just looking at right now as our current ordinances that are in place, we allow, if someone were to buy a 2,500 square foot home, they can board 10 people. Is that the standard currently?
Well, there are two different issues. One is building code. Building code generally allows for so many people per square foot, but that's different than zoning. Under state law, up to 6 unrelated people living in a single-family dwelling must be treated as any other single-family use. That necessarily allows for regulation for more than 6 unrelated people. But according to building code standards, yes, generally you can allow up, I think it's 1 person per 250 square feet.
And I assume that's livable space because garages aren't counted typically in that square footage, correct?
In living space.
Living space. All right. And so for me, as I take a look at this, because the name of Jesus was invoked a number of different times by both sides of this argument. And I'll tell you that if you use Scripture, what ends up happening is typically it condemns you. So you need to be very careful when you do that. And so, I think about the book of Titus and where Paul is writing from prison talking about the importance of citizenship and what that means. I'll tell you, many of you are neighbors, and what's important is businesses that operate in any community need to be good neighbors and work with their communities. So that's something that's weighed heavy on my heart. But as I strictly look at this as systems and how homes operate, it's important to make sure that you don't overburden those systems that are in place. And so that's one of the things I think that we need to be mindful of as we make a decision moving forward, because a single-family residential unit that's built can only handle so much flow of sewer and water and everything else. But I do appreciate a lot of the comments that have been made today, and the comments have been not lost on my heart. And I do take very seriously what the Bible has to say. But I'll tell you that, again, with Scripture, Scripture is not black and white on this issue. It can speak to both sides of this issue from my standpoint. Thank you.
Other board members?
I'll comment. I don't think there's any question that the Coyles are truly trying to help people, and I can appreciate and respect that. For me, it's about concentration and public safety. And I quite frankly, I agree with Mr. Capitan and believe if they're doing everything right, this really shouldn't be an issue, with the exception of the overconcentration, and that's an issue. I have tried to find common ground and believe that this ordinance is the common ground with the 6 people. Now, County Council, you addressed this with Supervisor Magsig, but I want it a little bit clearer. I've had a constituent of mine call and said in the realty business, there are prohibitions from limiting the number of people, and you clearly stated the building code versus the zoning. What is the current law regarding the 6 people and sex offenders regarding this particular ordinance?
Well, the current law is, under state law, independent of sex offender issues. Local jurisdictions must treat a single-family dwelling with up to 6 unrelated people as any other single-family use. So that allows up to 6. That allows
over
for
6. There's different rules, correct?
over 6. That allows for local regulation. Then
there we go. Okay.
Right. Yes, and if people are related, there's not a limitation. In other words, if you're one family, there's no limitation.
Okay. And again, okay, so if they're related, because the one lady came up and said they have 12 women, and the way I understood it, none of them were sex offenders, so that wouldn't be an issue per se. But now you say that it's 6 unrelated people, so then that is an issue.
Well, the state law says that if there are up to 6 unrelated, we can't regulate that. If there are more than 6, we can regulate it. But this ordinance, though, only addresses a situation where there's at least one sex offender and then potentially more than 6 total unrelated people living in that dwelling.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And that's the question that Supervisor Pacheco asked is the question that I was going to ask as well with regards to what our local control is. And first of all, I don't think you, Mr. Coyle, or your organization, and I didn't like the undertones of you being vilified because I don't think that's where your heart is. I just want you to know that. Maybe I see things differently. I personally don't believe that these individuals should be living in residential neighborhoods. And not because I don't trust you, but because I don't trust the heart of men that have done these unspeakable things to children. And I think I see that through the lens of having been a foster parent for a number of years and having brought children into my home that had that trauma. That is very difficult to recover. And so I think we should do everything we can to protect those children in our community. And I think this does strike that balance. Personally, I'm not comfortable with the 6, but I know that's state law and we're limited. But I will be supportive of this today, Chairman.
Okay. And Supervisor, no comments. Yeah, bottom line is, for me, it's a number of issues. It is about protecting the public. Some 40 years ago when I entered my PhD program, one of the first placements that I had the opportunity to work at was the men's colony in San Luis Obispo, a prison. And I got to talk to sex offenders and pedophiles and rapists and people who committed very heinous crimes. And through the course of my practice, I've at various times had to interact with them as I interview them at a prison or a jail. Pedophiles do not change. They don't change. Their orientation is to have sex with children, and I don't care what program they're in. I don't care what they say. I've seen the pathology at its rawest form, and they don't change. I hope when my 2 colleagues go to Sacramento, they're able to convince, I won't use the word radical for my colleague here, but some of these other folks who are very pro-criminal, could care less about the people who are living in these neighborhoods, but care more about these criminals, that you can do something that does not allow these kinds of folks to live in residential areas. We have to deal with the state and the state law, and through all of the stupid things that they do through Prop 4757, AB 109, no cash bail, all of this, as well as this, allowing people to, these kinds of folks who commit crimes against children and against other people to live in residential neighborhoods. We know that there, over the last 5 years, there's been over 100 calls for service with the Sheriff's Department with these homes at Gettysburg. We've had people testify when they've come before us to say they've witnessed drug deals, sexual behavior, cat calls, and I don't doubt that for some people, and I make a distinction, people who are struggling with substance abuse issues are very different than people who've been convicted of sexual offenses. We want to certainly help people who are willing to help themselves, but people who are living in these homes who are struggling with drug addiction is very different than a pedophile living in these neighborhoods. And I'm concerned not about, frankly, the rights of the pedophile, but the rights of law-abiding citizens to live in safe communities and not worry about their children. These people don't belong in these residential neighborhoods, but we have to deal with it. Our hands are tied, and we've come up with this ordinance to deal with it and to make it safer for our residents. And that's what this is all about. So I fully support this. I thank my colleague, Supervisor Pacheco, for co-sponsoring. I thank my colleagues for having moved this forward. And I thank the residents. And as Mr. Capitan said, if you follow the rules and follow the law, you're not going to have a problem. I don't know why you're so upset about this, because you should be following these rules to begin with, but we know the rules have not been followed, which is why we've enacted this ordinance. So you follow the rules, you follow what the law says, and if you want to meet to discuss this following this approval today with law enforcement, happy to sit down with you anytime you want. But the fact is, this is going to be adopted, it appears today. And I would just encourage you, follow the rules, monitor these people. You say that you do. I don't think that's accurate, because based on 100 calls for service, it doesn't seem like they're monitored very well. So with that, I'd like to, would you like to make the motion? I'll make the motion to approve the ordinance.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Next item, clerk.
We now move to item number 8, Board of Supervisor Committee reports and comments.
Are there any committee reports? Oh, Supervisor Chavez.
I don't have a committee report, just some comments, Chairman. Just over the break, I had a chance to meet with some of the folks that are working on the Measure C conversation. And as you're aware, they asked us to place the agenda item for us to consider. But I also want to be respectful of the process. I went back and checked historically. The 15 cities have placed it on their agenda first and had their conversation debated and dialogued, and then subsequently came to the county. But I also want to urge the folks that are, developing both competing ballots to truly make a good-hearted effort to work together on getting a compromise. When you do some quick math, in order to place something on the ballot, as we had our clerk here the other meeting, it's anywhere from $15 to $17 a signature, 32,000 signatures, anywhere from $500,000 to upwards of that. That's just to place it on the ballot. And I do have a concern with this not passing, as we've had a number of conversations. I think our CAO is compiling a report and analysis on what Measure C going away would look like for us. I think rough estimates are anywhere from 60 to plus folks being laid off. The city of Fresno's consequences, I think it's 30+% of their transportation dollars, which is a very important issue that organizations and groups have been advocating for, would essentially go away. No more routes, no more services for those folks. So I think we have some time to come up with a compromise, and I just want to urge our folks. But I did speak to some of those folks over the break and told them that this board wasn't ready yet. We wanted to let the cities weigh in, have their conversations, their dialogues. I know they have representatives on the COG, but some of their other council members also might have some different views or, some modifications that they would like to make. So I'd like to see that conversation for us to really weigh in on that. So that's it for me, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Magson.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. So this year's point-in-time count is happening on January 27th at night and January 28th during the day. As you all may be aware, the point in time is an annual count that helps inform agencies like ours on the number of people experiencing unsheltered homelessness in our region. This event requires hundreds of participants and volunteers, and I want to encourage everyone listening to consider participating this year. If you have any questions or would like to get more information, please reach out to Dylan McCulley from our office, our CAO's office, the Office of Housing and Homelessness, which is 600-1225. The reason I wanted to make this announcement is this year, the county is going to be responsible for that point-in-time count, and we are going to be handling it a little bit different. And so I wanted to make this announcement on behalf of the CAO's office, and again, would encourage our staffs and people listening to this message to get involved so we can have an accurate count. Also, I wanted to just make mention that I received word early this morning that Congressman Doug LaMalfa passed away suddenly. And so I would like to, maybe we can issue a just a memorial certificate for him. He did a lot of work for the rural parts of the United States, more specifically here in California, and I know that he will be sorely missed by the most rural counties here in California. Thank you.
Thank you. Any?
Yeah.
Yes, Supervisor Mendez?
I just want to add on to that Measure C. You know, I'm going into my 12th year of dealing with this. And the county traditionally has two bites at the apple. The cities vote on it, the county votes on it. It goes back to the Transportation Authority. They have to approve it. And then the last deal, at the end, the county decides if they're going to put it on the ballot or not. I think there's been a lot of dishonesty in this process. Things that were told to me back in the spring of all of a sudden got forgot about in late summer. And there was actually, I think they were told, I mean, people like Lynn Ashbeck and Swearingen was involved in it. They try to remind everybody that the electeds had the final call in this deal. And I think some people were already walking off the process when they found that what they wanted, the elected still have to decide. Now, one thing that we need to be aware of, I think we've spent pretty close to 1.5 million on this process, and to be down to a deal where all of a sudden they don't want to continue the process or actually come to some kind of consensus where they can get all 15 cities in the county to vote on it, they're walking away from this, and this is a very bad precedent because that's public money they blew. Yeah, and one thing I forgot, my wife left, I forgot to thank my wife, and one of the things that her and Vicky always had to put up with is you kind of never know what the hell I'm going to say. And they were the two to always say, "Why'd you say that?"
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Supervisor Pacheco. Yeah, I'd like to also add just on Measure C. I have great respect for my colleague Supervisor Chavez, who always wants to try to find some common ground. Supervisor Pacheco and I went to the city of Fresno, a couple of weeks ago to sit down with City Hall, which we did, and tried to reach some compromise, and pretty much got told to get lost. And I've been at COG for some time now, and the process has been hijacked by radicals, and that's I put that on the mayors. They bent the knee out of the threat that this would happen. That basically they would go to a ballot, collect signatures, and so they only needed 50+1 as opposed to 2/3. The actual dollars, I called the executive director, Robert Phipps, to see how much money's been spent on this process. He told me it was 925. We allocated 1.7. They've spent $925,000, all wasted taxpayer dollars. These folks over at COG, these mayors, have not listened to the fact that people want their roads fixed. They're not interested in getting on buses, electric scooters, or bicycles. And the goal of Ashley Swearingen, Sandra Celadon, and some of these mayors has been to get people out of cars. That's what this is all about, not to fix their roads. And that's why they have 30% for public transportation. And they made a motion, and I'm not sure if you're aware, you probably are, they made a motion when they approved the expenditure plan to the County Board of Supervisors to put on the agenda for today to approve the expenditure plan. They actually directed this body to put it on the agenda. Well, I told them in no uncertain terms, we are not, we don't get told what to do by the COG board or anybody else. This board decides when they're going to put something on the agenda, and I had to tell them more than once. So they have an agenda. They've allowed it to turn into what I've said before, a complete shit show. And they have not listened to the fact that the people, the majority of the people who turned down that in 2022 were Northeast Fresno, Northwest Fresno, and a significant portion of Clovis. And I can tell them from walking for a year and a half, people want their roads fixed. So they're not listening. They have their own agenda. They've had it from the very beginning. I wish there was a way to compromise. It should have been 15 mayors and the board's representative working out Measure C so this could pass. It is important for this county that a Measure C pass, but it has to be a Measure C that meets the needs of the people, not meets the needs of the people who support climate change nonsense and want to put people on scooters, bikes, and buses. And that's where we're at. They have a special meeting called for Wednesday. I suspect they're going to rescind their approval of the expenditure plan because they think the county's going to turn down the expenditure plan. We haven't even voted on it. I don't know what I would do on it. So that's where we're at. So I just want that clarification. But appreciate, your attempt and wanting to compromise. Supervisor Mendez and I tried that, and we got told go away.
And Chairman, how much was the amount that they had? I think Supervisor Mendez, 1.5?
We're not sure. I'll find out.
Yeah, no, I had called Mr. Phipps yesterday and asked, what's the amount that's been spent to this point? He said 925,000. 1.7 was what they had put out to spend.
Right.
Today, as of when I spoke to him yesterday, he estimated it was $925,000.
Almost $1 million.
Almost $1 million.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, next item.
Item number 9, board appointments.
Are there any appointments?
Yep, I go.
Okay.
I'd like to reappoint Gail Gaston to the Commission on the Status of Women. I'll put her in the queue.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I too would like to reappoint Mr. Ken Moore to the Board Member B position on the Fresno Mosquito and Vector Control District for a term ending January 7, 2030.
Thank you.
I have 2. To the Audit Committee, reappoint Manuel Villanova to the at-large seat, which expired on 12/31/2025. To the Planning Commission, I want to appoint Kyle Cheney to the at-large seat formerly held by Blake Zanti, who resigned on 12/31/2025.
Thank you. Buddy, any?
No.
Okay.
I'll have a whole bunch next week.
Okay. I have 2. I'd like to appoint Lawrence Garcia to the Planning Commission at large position. The position was previously held by District 2 resident Brian Whalen, and also Aaron Dwoskin to the Emergency Medical Care Committee, Hospital Council of Northern and Central California position. The position was previously held by David Bocci. I hope I'm saying it right. Is there a motion to approve?
A motion?
A second?
Here.
In a second. Oh,
Public.
yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go out to the public. Any comments from the public on these appointments? Seeing none, I'll bring it back. We have a first and a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. It passes unanimously.
We now move to item number 10, public presentations and closed sessions, items 11 through 14.
Yes,
Public comment.
Okay, this portion of the meeting is reserved for persons desiring to address the board on any matter not on this agenda. And pursuant to Administrative Policy 29, presentations are limited 3 minutes per person. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'd like to say congratulations to Supervisor Mendez as well as Pacheco on your retirement and your new endeavor. My name is Lupe Flores, 615 J Street, Mendota, California. I'm from the west side, and I live in District 1. So I also would like to say Pacheco has done an outstanding job in our District 1. I am very fortunate to have such a caring supervisor and the utilization of the tax dollars being used wisely. Thank you, Mr. Pacheco, and I wish you well on your election. I'm here so that you can meet who I am. I'm a candidate for District 1. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I have lived in Mendota all my life. I'm very passionate about public service. I worked for the state of California for 35 years. I just recently retired on July 31st. I was a former senior deputy labor commissioner and investigator. I worked for the Employment Development Department as an employment representative. I have strong leaderships in education and dedication to serving every child. Currently, I served on the Mendota School Board as Mr. Pacheco came from the school board background as well. So we know to be passionate about learning. We know to be passionate about the education of our children so that we can reduce crime and they can have futures and we won't have to deal with situations like today. I know that must have been a very hard situation about the sex offender housing. The heart is divided because we want the best for the rehabilitation, but yet we want to preserve the neighborhoods as well. And they're difficult decisions, and I applaud you for your decision today. I have been in time goes by fast, in compliance with the California labor laws. I've been on the labor market trends, agricultural industry with employers, community outreach for farm workers, and community resources. I serve in my community. I was a pastor's wife. My husband, John, is no longer pastoring at Rivers of Living Waters. We had a pleasure to be invited here by Mr. Pacheco to give the invocation one morning. Thank you for that. And now like I said, I serve on the Mendota School Board for 21 years. So I would bring to the table to work with all of you. And I think it would be a nice team effort, public policy, procedures, budget, finance, safety, overseeing facilities, accountability, and setting division goals and community leadership. Once again, my name is Lupe Flores.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman Bredefeld, members of the board. I'm Larry Salinas. I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff for Congressman Jim Costa. I'm a resident of District 5. I work in District 3, but along with the Congressman, I serve the constituents of Fresno County like you do. On behalf of Congressman Costa, I want to thank you for your partnership this past year and Happy New Year. Without question, 2025 was a very challenging year for our nation and our county. You know this all too well. The impacts that occurred because of federal actions to services from food insecurity to healthcare to housing have taken a major toll on your constituents, on our collective constituents. And somehow yet, the staff at the county met those challenges head on. For our part at the federal government, Congressman Costa engaged in constituent services where we served over 1,224 cases that we closed successfully. We brought back $831 million in federal funding, and we returned $74 million to constituents within CD 21. In that partnership with the county, I want to thank each of you and your respective staff, in particular CAO Nerlin and the health department heads, Dr. Vora and Dr. Prado, respectively, on their engagement and their partnership. And just because we've turned the page on a new year doesn't mean the difficulties are over. But we stand ready to continue our work in the partnership with the county and with this board. As Pastor Kreiner noted eloquently in his invocation, leadership is a responsibility. And it's our responsibility, as he stated, to lift everyone in this county. We're committed to doing that with you and your staff, and I want to wish you, Mr. Chairman, all the best.
Thank you.
Mr. Supervisor Mendez and Pacheco on your new endeavors, and it's been a pleasure to work with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I do have some calendars for you.
Okay.
I don't know if they made it to you by mail because of franking issues, but here you go for you and your staff.
Sure. Thank you very much. We are going to be entering closed session. Any comments from the public on any matter not on the agenda or any closed session items 11 through 14? Yes.
We come back, right, after closed session?
No, we will. County Council, we're not coming back, correct?
Done for the day?
No, we are not.
Okay, just want to say Happy New Year, I guess, and hope it's better than the past, and I hope there's more transparency and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we will not be coming back for closed session. There's a motion and a second to adjourn following the closed session.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I apologize.
Yeah.
Council, You have something to report out?
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, first of all, I have one report out from a prior meeting.
Okay.
On December 9, 2025, the board in closed session unanimously approved settlement in the Eric Major versus Thomas Sire in the county case, an Eastern District Federal Court case, for payment of $65,000 to the plaintiff in exchange for a full release of all claims and parties. The release was fully executed on December 15. Additionally, I would not expect any further report out after closed session.
Thank you very much. Need a motion and a second to adjourn? Second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. It passes unanimously. Thank you.
I apologize. Magsic? Okay, thank you.
Okay. That's it.